What's up guys, my name is Jedith, and this video is going to be a guide for Havoc Demon Hunter to kill Zekvir on hard difficulty, double question mark. This is the kill that you need to get the achievement, Let Me Solo Him. And when you complete this, you will be given the new, appearance for your Delver's dirigible. And it looks like this. It's a cool little void airplane thing. Yeah, pretty cool. And if you guys want to get this, you do have to get this done before the end of the first season. So we still have a little bit of time left before the end is even approaching us. But yeah, get this done before it's too late. So in the video, we're going to go over the talents that I used. We'll go over the relics that I used for Brann and just some basic things that you might need in terms of consumables or just like tips and tricks. Once we're done with all that, I will pull up some footage of a kill that I just did recently just to get some footage for this video, and I'll do some commentary over it talking about the mechanics, how to deal with them, and I'll make it super easy for you guys to make sure that you can get the kill and get this mount. Okay, so the first thing we'll look at is talents. So I just straight up used the Felscarred raid single target build. This can be found on Wowhead or in my Discord, but I will also put an import code for this in the description of this video. It's pretty straightforward. This is what you should be using in raid. It's all focused on just doing as much single target damage as possible. No rage fire, no fell barrage or anything like that. None of that's really needed. It's just the meat and potatoes of Havoc Demon Hunter. Now, if you really wanted to tailor this to Zekvir in particular, there's some things you could change. You can get rid of Sigil of Misery and put that point into maybe Fellfire Haste to give you some more movement speed. There's things that you can do, but it's really not necessary. This fight is more about mechanics and less about, doing a certain amount of DPS or anything like that. It's all about mechanics. This is a mechanics check fight. So don't worry too much about the talents that you use, as long as you're able to put out a reasonable amount of DPS, which you should be at this point, unless you're coming in here on like a Demon Hunter that's below 600 eye level. Otherwise, you'll be doing enough damage no matter what. So don't worry too much on the talents. This is the build that I went with. Now, in terms of Brann relics, I used Brann as a healer. This is the most important because when Brann is a healer, it's just going to allow you to live, essentially. You kind of need Brann as a healer no matter what. My Brann at the moment is level 47. I think when I did this the first time, he was around 40. The higher level your Brann is, the better it's going to be for you. So if your Brann is super low, if he's like level 10 or something, I would suggest maybe grinding out some levels on him, get him up to, I would say, ideally 40, but I know people that did it at level 20. I know people that did it slightly lower, but the higher you get him, the easier time you will have. Now for the combat curio, I used Idol of the Earth Mother. Brann spells and abilities have a chance to awaken the idol, shielding an injured player for 70% of their missing health. This is just a straight up good shield to have. It helps you live. The other one you can get is Unbreakable Iron Idol. When a player's health falls below 40% health during combat, the idol awakens, dealing moderate physical damage to nearby enemies and taunting them for 10 seconds. It can only occur once every 2 minutes. So this is a good sort of almost cheat death, where if you go below 40% health, this big rock thing spawns and it taunts Zekvir away from you, does a little bit of damage to him, and it just allows you to live. You can go with either one, whatever one you feel is best. I think Idol of the Earth Mother gives you a little bit more value throughout the entire fight, rather than just this thing proccing whenever you go below 40. It can only proc once every 2 minutes, so you might get 1 or 2 procs over the course of the entire fight. In my opinion, at this point, I would say go with Idol of the Earth Mother. Now for your utility curio, you want to go with the Amorphous Relic. So this one has 2 different effects that could happen. Upon entering combat, players gain either massive or miniature until combat ends. If you get the massive one, it increases your size by 20%, maximum health by 20%, and damage and healing done by 12%. If you get the miniature one, reduces your size by 20, increases movement speed by 20, and your haste by 12. Both of these are good to get. They're both a benefit, so it doesn't really matter. You're not going to be like fishing for one or the other. Just whatever you get, it's going to help you. In terms of gear, obviously my character is very geared, so it's much easier for me to do right now. And in the video that you're going to watch, that I'm going to do some commentary over, I was, eye level 631. So I had a little bit easier time doing it now. But the first time that I got this kill, I was, I think, around like 625, maybe around that area. So it was a little bit more challenging, but it is 100% possible at that lower eye level. I would say even lower than 625. For your trinkets, I would say make sure you have something that is just going to give you like flat stats. Make sure you have some agility, things that are giving you secondary stats. Some people might say to use Mandate to kill the webs or the egg things that spawn throughout the fight. But You get those spawning way too often to actually rely on Mandate to do that. You might be able to use Mandate to kill one of them, but then what happens for the next 4 or 5 that you get, right? So don't rely on Mandate to kill the eggs. Use something that's going to make all of your abilities hit a little bit harder. So in this kill that we're going to see, I used the Arakara Sac Brood and the Empowering Crystal of Anubikaj. You could use things like Deadeye Spyglass. You could use Void Reaper's Contract. You could use Guardian's Grace if you want. Pop it on pull. Pop it whenever you use your meta. For your other gear, you don't need to change anything at all. Just use your normal gear. Make sure you're enchanted and make sure you're just using the best gear you have. And for consumables, anything you can use is going to make your life easier. So just get some food and get a flask. Get your weapon enchants. You can use Algari Mana Oil or Whetstones. But like I said earlier, this fight is not a DPS check. It's not a survivability check. What it is a mechanics check. So, getting these consumables is going to help you a little bit, but it's not necessary. It's not going to be make or break when it comes to getting the kill. And just to prove that, in the footage that you're about to see, I didn't use any consumables at all. No flask, no weapon modifier things, no food, nothing. We just raw dogged it. Okay, so here we are with the footage that I recorded earlier for this video. I figured it would be easy to talk over it rather than trying to talk while I was actually doing the fight. So let's go ahead and watch. As you can see up in the top right corner, I have no consumables, no food, no flask, nothing like that. We're just doing it straight up and it should be pretty easy for us. We're going to pull with Sigil of Flame and we're going to hunt in and we're going to do our more or less our regular opener. We're going to I-Beam and then Essence Break, Death Sweep, Annihilation. We're going to save Vengeful Retreat. Vengeful Retreat is the most useful utility that you can use in this fight. Vengeful Retreat removes the poison dot that this boss will put on you. So this boss puts Enfeebling Spittle on you, and you can just easily dispel it off of yourself by pressing Vengeful Retreat after it's been applied. Rule of thumb with this fight is to essentially just save all of your Vengeful Retreats for whenever you get that dot put on you. You could just press the button and it removes the dot right away. You don't take damage, and you get the debuff removed from you. So you can see in my opener, I didn't use Vengeful Retreat. I did press meta, and now going into the rest of the opener, I'm not going to use my Agony Gaze. If you hold your Agony Gaze, that's going to allow it to line up for every egg spawn that call Web Terror. That's going to allow your I-Beam to line up for each web, each cocoon. So you can see I'm hopping over here, using my I-Beam on it, killing it down quickly. This is very important to get killed as soon as you can, because if that egg hatches or the web hatches into a mob, you're essentially dead. You won't be able to survive. So you want to make sure you're burning down those webs, those cocoons as fast as possible. And by doing it this way, by not using your Agony Gaze right after your opener and saving it for the first web, that means you're always going to have one for whatever web spawns throughout this fight. Now there are 2 kicks to get in this fight. There's Enfeebling Spittle, which is the poison that gets put on you that we talked about earlier that you can just get rid of with your Vengeful Retreat. And there's also a Regenerating Carapace, which is a heal that he does on himself. The heal is what you want to save all of your interrupts for. That's the only thing you want to interrupt. Everything else you can just let go through. Either Brann is going to kick it if he's deciding to be useful, or that Enfeebling Spittle will just go on you and you can remove it with Vengeful Retreat. So let's continue on here. You can see he's doing his Fear Circle. You just want to move out of that. Common sense, really. And as you can see, Vengeful Retreat is available. We're not using it. We're going to sit on it. And anytime that we're taking hits from Zekvir, we want to be popping Blur if we have it. It's going to reduce the auto attacks that he does to us. And we're just running out of those Fear Circles and Enfeebling Spittle. As you can see, it got cast on me, but I used VR right there. And the debuff is gone. And one of the main things that's going to help you survive in this fight is paying attention to the potions that Brann puts on the ground. Picking those up gives you a big heal, and it also gives you a heal over time. So if you can step through those whenever you see them on the ground, it's going to help you live through this fight so much easier than just ignoring them. You're also going to have your Lesser Soul Fragments on the ground that you can pick up to heal yourself. So we have a lot of passive healing that can happen to us throughout this fight, as long as we're just paying attention to the ground and being aware of our surroundings. So now at 60%, stage 2, he's going to go into his phase 2. He takes no damage here, so you're just chilling, building resources if you want, pick up the poisons, pick up the potions, and yeah, that you were just slamming the boss, moving out of his frontals. And there's going to be some swirlies on the ground now that we have to dodge. This is pretty straightforward. Just don't stand in them. If you stand in them, you're probably going to die. So you can see there, Enfeebling Spittle went off, and I VR'd, took the dot off of me. There's going to be a new Cocoon right over there. I have I-Beam for it. I-Beam into an Essence Break, Death Sweep, kill it very quickly. And we're just doing our best to live, essentially. Just moving out of the swirlies, getting rid of the poison dot on us whenever we get it by using Vengeful Retreat, moving out of the fear zones. And if we go back a second, so now in phase 2, if you look at the fear circle, there's 4 orbs. When this fear circle explodes, he's going to shoot out 4 orbs from those positions. And if you get hit by those orbs, you are dead. So just remember in phase 2, when he does the fear circles, look to his position, find and see where those orbs are, and just make sure you're not standing in front of one, because those will kill you. Okay, now these portals, you have to be very careful with them. So the way that they work is they're exactly that. They are portals. So he's going to open up these portals, and then he's going to do his web blast thing, his Angler's Web. And when he casts that, it's going to shoot webs into these portals, and the web will jump from portal to portal. So if you get caught in between them, it'll like swoop you up and shoot you all over the place. So what you want to do is just get away from them, in any way you can. For me, they're all on this side of the room over here. I'm going to move behind them and go over to that wall and completely avoid all of them. And then that's going to bait the frontal over here. Just going to move out of it. You can see I took a big hit there. But yeah, you just have to hope that you live, right? Press blur, make sure you have enough health, make sure you have enough armor, that those auto attacks aren't just going to one-tap you. Okay, so we're dodging the swirlies again. We have a shield on us now, which is very good. That's helping us live. A blood-infused carapace, that's what we wanted to kick. That's his heal. And we were lucky there because we got the Cocoon and Zekvir right next to each other so we could cleave. And that allowed us to not only kill the Cocoon quickly, but also get his HP down a little bit. Okay, so he's still just dodging the swirlies. This is basically just a fight of mechanics and perseverance. As long as you can just keep doing the mechanics properly, he will eventually die. And I know that sounds pretty obvious, but like I said, it's not a DPS race. It's not anything like that. You just have to not get hit by things. So we can see there, I kicked the heal. I did not kick the poison, because again, we can remove the poison just by pressing VR. So we're getting another Cocoon here. I'm dodging these orbs first, then running over to the Cocoon, I-beaming it, Essence Break, Death Sweep, Annihilation, kills him super quickly. And we're going up to the opposite side of those portals, so we don't get smacked by them. Again, dodging the swirlies. Blood-infused carapace, we're going to kick that. Spittle, VR it off. Fear circle, move out of it, dodge the orbs. Dodge the frontal. Got webs again with portals. We're just going to move so we don't get hit by the webs that are going back and forth between the portals. Dodging the swirlies again. And if your Brann dies during this fight, don't worry. Don't freak out. It's not the end of the world. He will likely die at some point. But if you wait long enough, he will resurrect himself, I guess. I don't know how he comes back. You can click on him to res him, but I definitely would not recommend doing that because that's, a risk that you have to take. You're standing still and you will likely die to a mechanic. So just keep doing what you're doing. Try to live as best you can. See, he died right there. But just do what you can to live, and he will eventually res himself, I think. We got Spittle there. I'm going to VR it off. Dodging the webs. Dodging the frontal. Dodging the swirlies. It's pretty straightforward, guys. It's pretty straightforward. He's at 5% health now. Got another Cocoon here. We're going to kick the heal. Move over to the Cocoon. I don't think we need to focus this Cocoon at all because his health is very low. We're going to I-beam to hit both of them. And yeah, we kill him before we even kill that egg. So perfect. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty easy fight if you just understand what each mechanic is and what your counter to each of them is. And then it's just about not having a sort of lapse of your focus during the fight, and as long as you can persevere and do every mechanic without dying, you will kill this guy. So I hope that helped. If you have any questions, make sure you comment down below. And another reminder, we are giving away 3 of these mounts for the month of November. We'll be picking 3 winners on December 1st. So if you want to enter into this contest, just leave a comment on this video and you will be entered in. You have to like the video and leave a comment. You can enter once per video in the month of November. So you can go back to any video that I posted throughout this month of November and leave a comment as well. And that'll give you 1 entry into the contest. So you can enter once per video. 1 comment each video will get you an entry in each. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.